Hello, friends. Welcome to this podcast, Pharma's Cyber Frontier, the Artificial Intelligence Advantage. Let me give you our background to start up. We are focusing on Center of Excellence Pharma 4. We have focused on to our books onto Amazon, where we have already three books related to Pharma 4. The link is already given. Books are available on Kindle and paperback. I strongly suggest please have a look at those books. I'm quite sure they will be very useful for you to decide about your strategy on two Pharma for adoption and implementation. We also have designed a course onto smart manufacturing in pharma, which is available on Udemy platform. This is again in a modular course. You can pick and choose the modules which is of interest to you and then develop the expertise onto the complete manufacturing systems for the pharma. Our YouTube channel has got around 300 videos. They are also from starting from strategy going up to the validation and seeing the results and audits. You will find the videos of your interest. Please subscribe them so that you will get constantly update about the new videos coming up and on. Share with your network, get a feedback, write to us also. This podcast channel also we are discussing more focused on to the latest technologies and latest challenges. And this is mainly available onto Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify and all that. So with this background, let me start our discussions. This topic I am going to have on agenda is about artificial intelligence impact on pharma cybersecurity on title side. The opportunities provided by artificial intelligence into pharma's cybersecurity, where we are concerned about the data protections and privacy, which is going to give the enhanced threat detection, which is what important to protect your sensitive data from any threats. There are challenges associated with artificial intelligence in cybersecurity like data breaches and the privacy risks, artificial intelligence manipulation service, supply chain vulnerabilities, and complexities of integration. Because we are talking about the various emerging technologies and also discussing about integration with old legacy systems also. And this needs to develop and adopt a zero trust security model. What is that is going to be discussed in the topic. So we have to think about the strategies for enhancing cyber resilience with continuous monitoring and the incidences which are going to happen and how you will respond with the planning. And we have to invest into the robust cybersecurity solutions. And finally, coming to the conclusion based on to our discussions. So, in the introduction, what I mentioned is there are opportunities in using artificial intelligence in cybersecurity. This is again has got the two things. One is enhancing the security measures. When we are talking about the complete end-to-end digital supply chain management, and we have to think about how we will automate this threat detection. So instead of individual looking at it, we should have a process driven, which should really look at into all those threat detection at the initial stage only. Then we have to think about the challenges which artificial intelligence is bringing for the cybersecurity. There are potential risks which are involved, have to be thought about it, and how we will continuously monitor with this is to be discussed. I'm going to think about it is artificial intelligence, how it will enhance the cybersecurity measures. You have to improve the threat detections and its response time. So we have to, since we are thinking about cloud, artificial intelligence, we are thinking about the industrial internet of things, we are using the sensors. So we are connecting the various areas from where the data is getting captured, and we are going to have a seamless data integration. This is increasing and creating more challenges, and there are more and more possibilities where the threats are detected and then they can try to integrate it. So we have to think about automating this routine cybersecurity checks at each and every level. So these are the some of those opportunities which can be detected and presented by artificial intelligence and advanced data protection techniques, which every hardware softwares are already having it, but we have to really think about it, how they are going to protect our data. And we have to think of proactive way, no, to mitigate those threats actually. So there are challenges. No, there are potentials for artificial intelligence driven cyber attacks are also possibly there. So how we will control them and how we will continuously monitor them. At the same time, as the risks are also trying to get it updated, we have to also continuously update our protecting systems also. So these are the challenges which are there, which we will have to think about it. So the opportunities which are provided by the artificial intelligence, some of them are listed it out here. As we discussed earlier, is the automated response capabilities have to be developed. So artificial intelligence can automate these responses to detect those threats and reduce the response time, and that will minimize the potential damages which can really happen. It. The next is the predictive analytics. We had already discussed the predictive analytics is the part of artificial intelligence, which actually forecast potential cybersecurity incidences. And that allows for preventive measures before any incidents occur it actually. The next is the behavioral analysis. So monitors users behavior to detect unusual activities. In a normal thing, when we design any system, when we develop it, we implement it, it has got a particular flow which has been thought about it and is designed for that. So if there is any abnormal behavior is observed, which we should really try to capture it, and then that identify and mitigates the risk proactively. But then comes the data protections and privacy. Enhances the data security through the encryption processes and access controls and all that. And finally, that can lead to enhanced threat detection. We have to also think about the data protections and privacy. We have to think about the enhanced data security, encryption of the data to protect the sensitive information. As we know, in the pharma, your formulation, your product quality standards, manufacturing processes, their standards. So which is a very sensitive data. So you have to see that you may encrypt the data, you may protect that data, and then you have to develop the systems for that. You need to have an access control to restrict unauthorized access. You have to also think about the data loss in the preventive strategies. Pharma is also governed by the regulatory compliances. You have to ensure that your standards for design for 21 CFR Part 11 has to be followed, and then the data needs to be maintained. You have to also monitor the data access as per again the GDPR compliances also standards which are coming. And that's threat detection is another challenge as I discussed earlier. Artificial intelligence analyze the vast data to identify the cyber threats. And this is where artificial intelligence plays a very important role. The next step of artificial intelligence is machine learning models are coming down. You have to think about how you will develop a machine learning models to identify those evolving threats, which is the next step which artificial intelligence can contribute from the cybersecurity point of automated response capability. AI automated the response to detected threats is also available. You have to think about that. Reduces the response time and minimizes the damage is also to be considered. Predictive analytics is another capability of artificial intelligence which can forecast the potential incidences which may happen based on to your historical data. So you have to ensure this capability is also into your system, allowing the preventive measures before the incidences occur. Behavior analysis, as I mentioned earlier, is also to be seen how those behaviors are happening it and are there any unusual activities are happening it here to identify and mitigate those threats. There are challenges associated with artificial intelligence, the data breaches and the privacy risks. Artificial intelligence algorithms rely on sensitive data posing a significant risk. So you have to think about how those algorithms are built up when you are considering on that, and how it is going to compromise for the patient safety and the company reputation also. Protecting sensitive information is crucial for the pharma company. Artificial intelligence manipulate the artificial intelligence system for the mainly the drug discovery, drug development, clinical trials, which is again a very important factor. Manipulation can lead to inaccurate outcome also in some cases, and that may be harmful and then which may have a wrong consequences also. So you have to think about those uh, developing the analogs or algorithms and all. Ensuring artificial intelligence models integrity is very essential, no? Because since we are talking about the data integrity and then the preventing exploitation is also to be thought about. Supply chain vulnerabilities is very important thing because we are planning for a digital supply chain management where everything is getting integrated from demand side to supply side and operation planning and everything. Any target which may happen it in cyber attacks can give an impact to the complete supply chain. So that may disrupt the production and deliveries and all that. And this complexity is very important. Data breaches and privacy, significant risks are there involved in the data breaches. So compromising patient safety is to be considered. Damaging company's reputation is also to be thought about it. Protection of the sensitive information is very important because we are discussing about the huge data volume and the patient's personal health data. According to that, if you're going to suggest and support to him with your particular products and all is to be also thought about it. How artificial intelligence can manipulate the risk is also to be thought about. Is it the criminals are cyber criminals are trying to influence your AI systems also. So manipulations of artificial intelligence in the drug discovery, potential of inaccurate outcomes may impact your drug development and all, which is going to be a most important thing challenge for you. And then that will risk to the harmful consequences. You have to ensure that artificial intelligence models integrity is more important so that you have been maintaining the accurate information at each and every stage and doesn't give you any wrong outcomes also. Supply chain vulnerability is another important function which you have to keep it in mind because as we see that supply chain integrity is very important thing. It's a connecting seamless data integration. So supply chains are becoming more digital and more interconnected. As I mentioned again, from demand planning, supply planning, operations planning, everything is getting integrated. This integration makes a prime target for the cyber attacks. The impact of cyber incidences may happen on to the disruption of your uh, product or manufacturing also on your medicine can be affected and finally your patients may also suffer. You have to think about the complexity of integration. As I again was coming back to the digital end-to-end supply chain management, there are challenges in integration also. And integration is one is the processes and second is the various technologies. As I mentioned it to you, the cloud, AI, IoT, blockchain, these are the various technologies that also needs to be integrated. And this requires a significant investment into the infrastructure and needs an extensive training to the skills who are operating at the shop floor level. We have to also keep in mind the legacy systems where old analog systems are there. Maybe you have to rely on to some outdated systems also. And you have to have a difficulty in interfacing with again advanced tools is also to thought about it. So coming to the strategies which you have to think about while enhancing the cyber resilience is that you have to invest into the robust cybersecurity solution and you have to implement the measures by considering those threats and you have to constantly regularly update those security protocols. You have to promote a cybersecurity awareness among the team, all users, maybe within your company premises and maybe many a times your all various stakeholders who are outside the company premises also. Like you have a demand planning, you have a warehouses, you have a transportation, logistic and all that. Similarly to your suppliers, similarly to your contract manufacturing and all. You have to educate the employees about these trades and develop a culture of cybersecurity awareness. You have to establish a strong data governance framework, develop a comprehensive data governance policies are to be laid down and use the encryption models. You have to access controls and regular audits to hit that. And then that will lead to your adopting a zero trust security model, which will implement the and that will approach to acquiring the regular verifications and all that. Continuous monitoring and response planning is essential. So, what is this zero trust security model? Is that no user or no device is trusted by any default actually. The verification is required before granting the access to each and every user, person, and all that. And then that risk mitigation is the threats are to be identified and that risks have to be considered from the third party vendors also. And continuous monitoring, again, I'm insisting on to that is incident response is also required. Because even though you develop a artificial intelligence based tools, continuous monitoring is required because the new threats are continuously coming up. You have to monitor the network activities in a real time basis and detect those anomalies constantly. And then, if there are any incidences are there, you should have a response plan. Know how you will detect it and how you will see that there is a minimum disruptions or something like that, and you have to eradicate those cyber incidences and recovery processes have to be there. So you have to invest into the robust cybersecurity to implement those security measures tailored to protect against this evolving cyber. New threats are continuously coming up and all. You have to ensure that there won't be any new threats coming up and you have to uh, detect them and regularly update security protocols to address new vulnerabilities. You have to promote awareness training, educate the employees about recognizing phishing attempts, social engineering tactics, and other cyber threats. Foster a culture of cybersecurity awareness throughout the organization and establish a strong data governance framework. You have to develop a comprehensive data governance policies to ensure the protection of the sensitive information. Use encryption and access controls and do a regular audits to safeguard the patient's data. So finally coming to this conclusion, what I say is that opportunities of artificial intelligence in cybersecurity is huge. You have to use them, you have to enhance them to detect those threats and take a necessary action, develop the required mechanisms for that, and ensure that compliance with your regulatory standards also. Risks associated with artificial intelligence are also to be considered, and this requires a effective risk management strategies to be developed for the new security risks which are coming up. Importance of the robust cybersecurity measures, investing in a strong cybersecurity infrastructure is must because you otherwise you will be losing very important, very sensitive, huge amount of the data. And fostering a culture and builds that awareness in there. Safeguarding the critical assets is very important of the cyber threat. So all these various issues are also discussed into various other videos. Please look at them. Please also look at our books. We also have some modules which have been discussing details into our smart manufacturing course at Udemy. And also share this with your network. Feel free to contact us, share our uh, thoughts to your network, share your thoughts, suggestions to us also. Hope you have got a good feel about the cybersecurity and adoption of AI into that. Thank you. Bye.